Shalom, everybody. Good to see you. Hope we're still basking in the sunlight of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and Sukkot and the Torah. Of course, it lasts a whole year of inspiration. And we've started to read the Torah again from the beginning. Last Shabbos, we read Bereshis. And now, this Shabbos, we're up to Parsha of Noach. Noach, we put together with the big flood that happened. And the Torah goes to great extent to describing what happened with that great flood that happened. The question is, what are we supposed to gain from that story? What are we supposed to learn from it, to grow from it, to see something there that we have to realize and try to better ourselves, seeing destruction of the world through the flood? How can we digest that and put it in some type of practice? Well, I want to get involved tonight in a very Kabbalistic idea, which is very basic in Jewish thought, realizing that teva, the ark that Noach was in, there were 8 people there, Noach and his wife, his 3 sons and their wives, 8 human beings in that ark, the teva, and all of the species of the animals and birds and everything, even some of the Hazikin were there. The spiritual beings were taken in the ark also. The whole world became in the ark. It was minimized. The whole world that was before that, people, animals, everything became shrank. In that ark that was going on the water, that was the world. The rest of the world was gone, underwater, not able to exist. And the whole world became, in that ark, with 8 people and species, all the animals. Interesting world. And what was the purpose that Hashem put Noach together with those animals? He had to take care of them. He had to feed them. He took feed on the ark, and he fed them. Rashi tells us he once came late to feed the lion. He got bitten by the lion. He came late. What is this all about? What is God telling us? What did he tell them? What's he telling us? This. So this is the Kabbalistic idea I want to bring out. We know God created the world in 6 days. Yehir, every day had its own bria, own creation, the light, vegetation, the sky with all these different stars and moon and sun, and so on and so on. The creation of the world is not like it looks like. We might have discussed it before. Creation of the world, when God said, let there be light, let there be animals, let there be vegetation, it's not that they came on the scene and they stayed on the scene. It was much more than that. We're told by the great Kabbalists that when Hashem created the world, he created each thing each day. When he said, let there be whatever he said that day that came into existence, that there has to be a constant input in that thing which he created. It's not like hire a carpenter to make you a table and you take some wood, some nails, you bang it together, and you have a table, and you walk away, you have a table. When God created the world, that's not what happened. God created the world when he said, let there be light, let there be trees, animals, and they came into existence. There has to be a constant input of energy or power, however you want to put it. It's not just a one-time thing. Let there be an animal, and the animal comes on the scene. God has to put every second in the world, there has to be, it's a new creation. The creation of the animal before, the cow that was there before is not the same cow as now. Because every second is a new creation. The cow before is not here anymore. There's a new cow. Just like we see, my Rebbe gave it, if you have a gas flame, you look at the flame, it looks like it's the same flame as before. But it's not. Every second we see the flame, it's a new flame. Because the flame that was before, it was from a gas, was burned up. That's not the same flame. There's new gas, there's new flames burning now. It looks like it's the same, but it's not the same. The same thing when it comes to creation of the world, that which was there before is not what's there now. That was said before, let there be light, it's a new light. Let there be the moon and the sun, it's a new moon, it's a new sun. Every second, it's a new creation. It's not the same way that was before. And why is that? Why is it different than when man makes something, he makes it, walks away, and it's there. He doesn't have to keep banging on it with the hammer, banging on the nails, keep it. He makes the table, knocks the nails into the wood, the table walks away, the table's there. You have to keep banging on it to keep it going. But when God makes something, it has to be a constant creation. You can't walk away from why? Because the difference is between yesh miyesh and yesh mi'ayin. What are you creating it from? When we make something, man makes something, he makes something from something that was there from before already. The wood that makes the table from was there from before. The nails were there from before. He brings them together, and that's it. You have it. But God makes yesh me'ayin. He gets yesh from nothing, something from nothing. There's nothing there. Hashem said, here, let there be light. What's it coming from? It's God's creation. Let there be animals. Where are they coming from? They're coming from nothing. Yesh me'ayin. Man can't do it. We can't create something from nothing. A man can only create something from something. Anything, you look around the room, wherever you are, and you see things, nothing came from nothing. When you see a book, the book came from paper. The paper came from wherever it came from pulp for the wood. Where did that come from? Wherever it came something from something. If you have something from yesh miyesh, it's called in Hebrew, yesh miyesh, something from something. Once you make that, you don't have to keep making it. But if you create yesh me'ayin, something from nothing, then you have to have a constant input of Hashem's creation. Because something from something, if you take away that which was made in the beginning, it won't be there anymore. It'll disappear. Because it's something from nothing. The nothing has to be there constantly in order to be able to have the something to exist. Otherwise, it's back into nothing. So that's the difference between God's creation and man's creation. So when God created the world, he created all the things in the world, and he's creating every second. It's a new thing. Look around it. You see a book in front of you, that book was not here before. It's a new book. It's a new table. It's a new house. Everything's new, something new. Now, the way God created the world is that he is the one who makes the world exist every second. But the strings attached. He gave us the power for him to do what he's doing. It's up to us. God said, I'm creating it every second. But on what condition? That you people give me the possibility and the ability to keep it going. Because I'm creating something from nothing, but I have to have your input. Not that God needs it. If he wouldn't want it, he doesn't have to have it, but that's what he wanted. He wanted the people in the world to have an input into the creation of the world every second. That we have to do our part in order for God to do his part of keeping the world going. If we don't do our part, then he won't do his part, take away his yesh me'ayin. He will keep creating. What do we have to do for God to do? For God to keep creating every second, everything that we have. He has to have our input. What's our input? To do the laws of the Torah. For us to do what God commanded us to do. If we do those things, so then we are giving the power to God to do his thing, to keep creating the world. But if we don't do our part, then God will come back and not put his part. He won't give into the world the creation of the world. So that means that's up to us. Not that God has to have that, he could do without us, but he made the world to be that way. That we have to do what we have to do in order for God to do what he has to do. And therefore, if the Jewish people do the laws of the Torah, we study Torah, we perform the laws of the Torah like we should, so therefore that's giving God the power to keep the world going. And how will it go? Well, it'll go good if we do good. If we do the laws of the Torah like we should, so God will give life, and God will give health, and God will give sustenance for people to live. Everything that's coming into the world, God's giving. But he wants us to give him the power to do it. The power to do it is by performing the mitzvahs of the laws of the Torah. So that's how the world exists. If the Jews, or before Torah was given to Mount Sinai, the people in the world do not perform the laws they're supposed to perform, then God will pull back and will take life away, and he'll take away health away, and he will not have the input that will keep a healthy world. That's exactly what happened at the time of the Mabul, time of the great flood. Since people were sinning, the all different terrible sins of stealing and not proper relationships with man and woman, and idol worship, they did all the bad things. God started pulling back. You're not giving me the power to give the world what it needs to exist. Therefore, a flood could come and destroy everything, because they don't have the right to exist anymore, because they're not giving God the power he wants to give to input to keep the world going. So therefore, since the people were sinning, and therefore God said, I need you to give me the power to go ahead and give the world what it needs, and you're not giving you that power because you're not keeping the laws of what I gave you. The 7 Noahide laws. If you go against those laws, then I'm not going to give into the world the ability to go on. They're just going to disappear. That's why. So what happened in the great flood? The world became destroyed because people did not keep the laws of Hashem. Therefore, they did not give God the power to give life to the world, life to everything that he created in the beginning. And therefore, everything became missing, gone, because of the flood. And actually, that's what happened to the whole world. What was existing, the world was minimized into a teva, into a boat. And that boat, that's what was getting the input from Hashem. All the different animals, every type of animals, the 8 people that were there, they were the world at that time. And since Noach was a God-fearing man, his children basically were God-fearing, basically. Therefore, they're performing the laws that God created the world with. He wanted the people to perform and to keep. That gave God the power to keep those on that boat alive. Everything else was destroyed because the other people were not tzaddikim. The people in the world were shoyim. They were wicked people. And therefore, they did not give God the power to constantly create. Therefore, they became destroyed. And since the people in the world were shoyim, were wicked, they were doing wicked actions. Therefore, God pulled back from giving life to the world like it should be. And the world became minimized into one little boat where there God was giving the input of life. Every life otherwise stopped existing. Since Noach was a tzaddik, his children were tzaddikim, therefore they gave the power to God to give input into the world, but very limited. Since the tzaddikim, the people were not living anymore, so the power given to God was only from a few, from 8 people. And therefore, the life that God gave it to the world was on the table was very limited. Talk to those that were on the boat. Every type of animal possible, even the buchnias, the mazikian, the invisible brias of the world that fly around us. We don't see them. They were existing only because of those people in that boat. They gave Hashem the power to keep life going. And Hashem was telling Noach and telling the world, telling us what we learned from here. We're telling us, Hashem is telling, I'm going to eventually bring the world back again, take away the water. Now you get out of the teva, and now you start building the world back again. Make sure that you do follow that which I command you to do. You follow what I command you to do, we'll be able to build the world back again and have a nice world. People will start being born again, and people will be able to be healthy again, and people will be able to live and enjoy life again. As long as you do your part and do the laws of I'm commanding you, then you give me the power to give the input into the world of life and everything good about life. The world will come back to its glory again, the way it should be. But you should know that if you don't keep the laws like they should, then you're not giving me the power to keep the world going like it should, then I'll have to hold back also. And therefore there won't be life like it should be. It won't be health like it should be. There'll be problems in the world because I will not be able to give the shefa bracha, the blessing of the world to exist the way it should be, because you're not giving me the power to do so. You have the power, God doesn't need it, but He made the world to be that way. I want you to give me the power to the world to exist the way it should. You have to do all the laws that I'm commanding you. Right? They had command of the laws then, of the 7 Noah laws. Noach did more than that. Because Noach learned Torah, he kept even more than the 7 Noah laws on his children. But that is what is necessary for the world to exist, to be in a good state, in a healthy state. And this is by our actions, we are making it happen. Not just because we're doing it, we're rewarded or punished. We are giving God the power to go ahead, and every second that the world is existing, He's putting in whatever we have in front of us, whatever's going on. If He has a lot of power, people are doing what they should be doing, keeping the laws of the Torah, so then it'll be a very healthy world, a happy world. I think it'll be very, very good. But if people are being wicked like they were in the time of the flood, therefore they're not giving God the power to give the input which He'd like to give the world a healthy existence, then the existence will be a poor existence. There'll be people without money, without health, without the things that people want in their life to live have a happy life. So this we have to realize. When we are living in this world, if we do what we're supposed to be doing, we are giving God the power to give a great blessing to the world. people to live like they should, be happy and healthy. If we do not do what we're supposed to now, as we as Jewish people, that we have more than the 7 Noach laws, we have the 613 laws that we have to study about and perform. We are the ones giving into the world the power to live, to exist, and to be successful. And that's what we have to think about. And if we don't do what we're supposed to be doing, many people could suffer from it. Hashem will not give into the world the blessing that he'd like to give. That means people might be sick, and people might be dying, and people have all kinds of problems coming to the world, because Hashem says, I am relying on you. You have to do what you have to do, and this is what you have to do. He tells us with studying the Torah. We study the Torah, we are able to give God this power. Now, this is a very Kabbalistic idea I'm telling you right now, that because I'm not giving all the words used in the laws of Kabbalah words, but this is what they're talking about. That we have to do our part on this world down here to give God up there the power to shine back on us. We shine back to Hashem. We're doing the laws of the Torah. We're giving the power now. Now shine back at us what we're doing. But for Hashem, if we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing, we're not giving God the power to shine back at us like we'd like him to do. And this is what happened at the time of the flood, that the people were wicked and they did all kinds of sins, and 7 laws they did not keep, and therefore automatically, the world went down, and what was left, the whole world was gone, full of water, not possible to live, not people, not animals. It's put down one little boat, floating in the water, and that was the world at that time. It was minimized into a boat with 8 people and species of animals. Zoch in the cave, male and female animals went to later on to them to build the world up again the way it was before. So this is what we have to realize, how much power every person has in the world. Every of us has power. Hashem is, we said at the beginning, creates the world every second. But what does he put into the world? What we give him to use, that's what he uses. We give him the fuel. Not that he needs it, he can do it without us, but he made the world in such a way that's fueled by our actions. If we do the right actions, we give him the fuel for him to give into the world. It's like you fill the gas tank up with gas. If you fill it with gas, the car is able to go. If you don't have gas, you can't go. Because Baruch Hu says, I want to have a good world, a pleasant world, a world of blessing, of goodness. You must keep the laws of I'm commanding you. If the non-Jews have the 7 Noach laws, the Jews have to keep the 613 laws of the Torah. So added to that is that we know that the person is Olam HaKotan. Person is called a small world. Each person is a small world, meaning that why was man created after everything else in the world? Because everything has been created first. They all gave from themselves into creation of man. Whatever character trait that an animal has, each animal has its own character trait. Lions are vicious. Doves are tame, loving. Every animal has its own character trait that it has. Some are nice, some are wicked, some are vicious, some are different. And man contains all of them. Man was created last because everything was created before man gave its theme of its life into man to be created. For man is made up of all the debris of the creations before him. A man contains within himself the viciousness of a lion and the softness of a dove. A person could be vicious, like we see a lot of wicked people that could be very vicious. They'd be animals, and of course we know that from the Holocaust that shows it in a great way how vicious people were. That's the part of the person that from the lion and the vicious animals that people have within them. And we see people that are very nice and very loving and benevolent. Those come from the animals that put into us their uh, nature that they have God given them. So man, every animal has its own personality. Man has hundreds of personalities containing all the different parts of the world that man has able to use. A person can be one time vicious and one time nice, because it's up to him. He has bechira. He has a free choice. He could call on the part of him that has this type of personality. He can call himself for that type of personality because he contains all of them, and it's up to a person with free choice to use the right one at the right time. Right at the right time, he'll do a mitzvah. If it's the wrong thing at the wrong time, it'll be a sin that he's doing, that he's not using that what God put into him in the right way. So when we say that man, what he does has an effect on the world, it's a little further than we said before. We give to God what God said, what you do, you giving me that power to come back and give you to the world what it needs. But we are giving with different things that we do, that personality that God gave us, we're using that in order to do the different actions that we do. And that's up to us to use the right one at the right time, which will give God, the person, the power to give the world what he wants to give. He wants we should give him the nicest that we have of our personality. And he wants us to do the mitzvahs, or he wants us to do all the commandments of the Torah the way he wants us to do it. And that way he'll give God the power to give back to goodness that he wants to do. So this is what we have to learn. One of the lessons from the big flood is that we have to realize what we do has an effect on the world. It's not just we go, well, I'm doing what I'm doing. What does it have to do with you? I can do it. It can be good. It can be bad. Has to show them. It's what does it have to do with you? No. Person who acts nicely, he's giving God the power of the world for people to get abundance of blessing from Hashem. Because God's going to act back to us the way we act to him. And if a person God from does evil, so then we're taking away from God's blessing that he wants to give, because he made himself, didn't have to, but he made himself be dependent on our actions. If our actions are evil actions, we're not giving God the input of goodness Hashem wants to give the world, the person is taking away. And we have a big effect on the world, everything that we do. And therefore, it's going to be a big complaint against us. So God's going to tell us when we come to face him and the world to come, why did you act such a way? Because you act that way, therefore that person got sick and that person lost his money, and that because since you didn't act the right way, you took away my power to give blessing to the world. I put myself dependent on you, and you have to do the right thing. That's giving me the power to do good things for the world. But if you don't, then the opposite is the opposite. So we have a very strong lesson to learn from the flood. The world was destroyed because people acted bad, didn't keep up the laws of God wanted them to keep. Therefore, they took away God's power, so to speak, from giving a blessing to the world, goodness to the world, and therefore the world just ceased to exist. The whole thing was just now on that little boat that was there by the tzaddikim, those righteous people who were keeping the laws of Hashem. They were bringing Hashem's blessing to the world, and therefore those few animals that were there, people that were there, able to exist because we had a few people that were keeping the laws of Hashem. So they're keeping it. It was enough to keep the world alive till it came back again after the great flood. I said, okay, new world, we're starting all over again. Now, make sure all the people that are being born, make sure you keep the laws of the Torah. Make sure, give me the ability to give a blessing to the world, because I have to do every second. I have to give to the world existence. Without every second, like we said before, world cannot exist. I'm giving to every second the power to survive, to exist, to live. But it's only according to how much power you give me to give to you. So that's what we have to think about. And that's how we're living today, every day, every second of the day. The way we're thinking, we're talking, we're doing, we're giving God the power to react back to us and give us the blessing according to our actions, the way we're doing. So that's a big idea.